The Galen Interstellar Academy floated above the blue gas giant Teralis. 9, like a silver blade, held perfectly still. It trained officers for 100 species, war tacticians, fleet commanders, planetary governors. It also had one quiet rule that everyone knew but never said out loud. Do not mess with Deathworlders. Most cadets treated that rule like a superstition, especially the ones who had never seen a real Deathworld. Cadet Jox, Ma, walked alone through Corridor C7. He carried no weapons, no escort, no visible armor. Just a standard grey academy uniform and a small datapad. Under one arm, he was human, Earthborn, registered Deathworld classification, Alpha Plus, gravity tolerance, extreme, atmospheric adaptability, extreme, pain threshold, extreme. The datapad chimed. Late evening rotation, training decks, were mostly empty, which was why 7 figures stepped out of the side passage ahead of him. They spread wide, blocking the corridor. JAX stopped. He sighed softly. The lead cadet was a KARTHI. Tor, 4 arms, chitin plates polished to academy shine. Mandibles flared in amusement. His name tag read Cadet Vo RL. Behind him stood a mixed group, 2 Relkin bruisers with stone-dense muscle, a Serati with bladed limbs, a Vaughn twins pair tall and thin with neural shock implants, and 1 thin avian cadet whose wings twitched nervously. 7 total. JX counted without thinking. Verl clicked his MANDIBLES. Human, he said. You've been walking real confident lately. Jox glanced around. Training deck cameras were disabled for maintenance. Emergency beacons were silent. Academy, Rule 74. Personal disputes outside official zones were unofficial, handled privately. Jox looked back at VORL.move, he said. The word was calm, flat. No threat, the Carthy laughed. Sound like grinding metal. You think you can tell us what to do? 1 human against 7 of us. Jox adjusted his grip on the datapad. I am late for 0. Gravity drills, please move. That was when Verl stepped closer. Close enough for Jox to smell the faint chemical polish on his plates. You humans think because your world eats you alive that makes you special. He leaned in. We going to teach you respect. The avian shifted. Maybe we should just scare him. Verl did not turn. No, he needs lesson. He raised 1 arm, grab him. The corridor was silent. Then everything happened at once. JAX dropped the datapad. It hit the floor and slid. That sound was the last calm moment. The first. Relkin lunged, 300 kilograms of dense muscle. JAX stepped forward instead of back. His fist rose, compact, controlled. He struck under the Relkin, rib mass where the muscle met nerve. The impact cracked like thunder. The Relkin collapsed instantly, unconscious before he hit the floor. The second, Relkin roared. JX pivoted, elbow strike. Direct to the throat mass. The roar became a choking wheeze. Cadet down, the Serati slashed. Bladed limb slicing air. JAX leaned inside the arc. Grabbed the limb, twisted. There was a wet snap. The Serati screamed and fell. 3 down, the Vaughn twins activated their implants. Neural shock waves rippled. The air, VIBRATED. Most species dropped when hit. Humans did not have that receptor pathway. Jox felt a buzz, like static. He moved anyway. He closed distance in 2 steps. Headbutt to the first twin, skull, against fragile cranial plate. The second twin barely had time to react. Jox swept his leg. The twin hit the floor. Jax stomped. Not lethal. Precise. 5 down. The avian screamed, took flight. Jox threw a hand weight from his belt. It struck the wing joint. The avian crashed into the wall and slid. Down. 6 down. Verl stood frozen, mandibles wide, all 4 arms raised. This had taken maybe 8 seconds. Jox turned to face him. Vorl backed up. Wait, this not fair. Jox stepped closer. Humans evolved on a world where everything wants to kill you. Gravity that crushes bones, weather that rips cities apart, predators that hunt for sport. We learned early. You either adapt or you die. He stopped inches from Verl. You chose wrong opponent. Verl lashed out. A desperate swing. Jox caught the arm, pulled and drove his knee up. The impact lifted Verl off the ground. The Carthy fell unconscious. 7 bodies lay scattered across the corridor. Jox stood breathing steadily, heart rate elevated, not dangerous. He picked up his datapad. It had a crack, annoying. He stepped over the fallen cadets. He did not look back. The academy went into lockdown 3 minutes later. Medical teams rushed in. Security officers followed. Commander Threx watched the footage. Afterward, every angle, every frame, the human had not escalated. He had warned. He had asked. He had ended it efficiently. Threx leaned back in his chair. Deathworlders, he said quietly. They never learn. The next day, the mess hall buzzed. Whispers moved faster than light. 7 cadets, hospitalized. 1 human, no weapons, no fatalities. Tables parted as Jox walked through. Eyes followed him. Some fearful, some impressed, some thoughtful. A large insectoid. Cadet leaned toward his friend. That him, the human. Other nodded. 7 bullies. Over in seconds. Jox ignored it. He grabbed a nutrient tray, sat alone across the room. A new cadet watched him, small, reptilian, clearly. Nervous, the cadet hesitated, then walked over. Is it true? Jax looked up. About what? That you beat them all. Jax shrugged. They made bad choices. The cadet swallowed. I am from a low-gravity marsh world. Some cadets been bothering me. Jax studied him, then nodded, walked with me after meals. The cadet blinked. Why? Because bullies prefer easy prey, and they do not like witnesses. The cadet smiled. Thank you. Jox returned to his food. A week later. Training exercise, Delta Red, mixed species, squad live, terrain simulation, harsh environment. The instructors assigned Jox as squad leader. Some protested. They stopped after the briefing. The terrain mimicked a death world. Jungle, dense, hostile, predators, simulated, environmental hazards. Active, the squad struggled at first. Jax guided them. Short commands, clear orders. He moved first, always, by the end of the exercise. They finished early. 0 casualties. Instructor feedback was unanimous. Exceptional. Leadership under pressure. Adaptability extreme. The academy updated its curriculum. Added a new elective. Deathworld survival tactics. Mandatory. Attendance for non-Deathworld cadets. Instructor name, Cadet Joxmar. Temporary. Appointment. Months later, the corridor where it happened had been repaired. No marks left, but everyone knew. First years whispered the story. 7 bullies. 1 human. Over in seconds, some learned fear, others learned respect. The smart ones learned something else. Deathworlders were not monsters. They were survivors, and when pushed, they ended things fast. Jocks walked the corridor again one evening. Same place, different feeling. No, one stepped out this time. He smiled faintly and kept walking. Asterisk.